Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
A weekly podcast and YouTube channel where we discuss all things Wrexham AFC from the point of view of long-term fans and new fans.
So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in.
Hello and welcome back to episode 102 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC podcast.
Welcome, one and all, back for another show. So on this week's show, we're going to do some Wrexham news, or lack of it, coming out of the club. Some transfer rumours, of course we are. Last episode of season 3 of Welcome to Wrexham. We're going to look at 2 of our opponents for next season. I think 1 week I'm going to have to do 3. Because I sort of just went a bit meandering for the first couple and I was just doing 1 a week. We got plenty of time. I'm not sure we have anymore. So yeah, we'll stick with 2 for now. We've got a guest who's going to talk about one of our opponents for next season.
Exciting.
Yeah, so that's what we got. Shirt this week is the 2011-2012 season shirt. I'm not sure it's one of my favourites, to be honest.
No?
No, I'm not sure about the stripes.
You have worn that before, haven't you, on the podcast?
I think so, probably at some point.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yes, because I asked who least direct were.
No, it wasn't this one. That was another one of the least direct ones. So yeah, 2011, 2012. No, 2010, 2011, sorry. So we finished 4th that season, got into the playoffs in the National League. Lost to Luton in the playoffs. Lost both legs of the playoffs. I think we lost maybe 2-0 and 3-1. So we lost 5-1 on aggregate, I think.
Fabulous.
It was also the season of the infamous 7-2 home defeat to Gateshead.
7-2.
Yeah, only real reason I think you might know about that game is when we were at the Dover game.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people going, oh my God, it's like Gateshead all over again. So I don't know if you're sort of aware of that going on around you.
I don't remember anyone saying that around, to be honest. I was too busy screaming and jumping.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the 2010-2011 season.
This shirt?
Yes.
Circa 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Primark.
Primani, yeah.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, so, definitely.
Firstly, I would like to say thank you to everybody who wished me happy birthday.
Am I on that list?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. Thanks.
Yeah.
So just to name a few people: Stu Jenkins, Gibson, Paul Kelly, David Williams, not my brother, Van Vidal, Stoner Combat Vet, Tori, Stephen, Nia, Matt, Lee Jones, Jason Bergeron. It was also his birthday, so happy birthday for last week. I did wish you happy birthday on the day.
Just can't say your name.
Yeah, sorry, Jason. Plus many, many more. I had a lovely surprise on my birthday. I got up in the morning.
Was that the surprise that you'd woke up?
Yeah.
Are we getting to that age now where every day that you wake up?
Yeah. Not quite.
No.
I went downstairs and I had on the TV, I had a video made for me. It had the likes of Two Beards, my mum and dad. My dad went on quite a bit. My in-laws, obviously Ryan's parents, Alfie, Tim Yockey, Chaz and Courtney. Who else? I can't remember.
I didn't expect you to start reeling off everyone who's
there was
on it.
A lot of people on the video.
CJ and DJ were on there.
Oh my God, CJ and DJ and Frankie.
Yes.
The gorgeous little Frankie, twitchy Frankie. And there was loads of other people. I'm really sorry that I can't remember you, but it was just very overwhelming. And yeah.
And yeah.
And yeah, so thank you. I'm now 42. I feel 42. Thank you to, I think it was David Williams who commented saying I don't look a day over 41.
It was David Williams.
Thank you for that, David. That was really, sometimes I do wonder if that was my brother actually, to be honest, but I know it's not. So I was very spoiled, had a great day. And then I had to go to work the next day and had some bad news. But anyway, we won't talk about that.
Yeah, let's move on.
Let's move on from that.
Yeah, look, if you do want to support the show, you can buy us a coffee. Our page on Buy Me a Coffee is buymeacoffee.com/me the wife. Just like to say a big thank you this week to Sarah. Chaz, and we had an anonymous one as well, so thank you very much to all of you for supporting the show this week. As I say, it's buymeacoffee.com/me the wife.
I thought you were waiting for you to say Wrexham
AFC. No.
So let's jump into the news.
Yeah, so Lily Jones, start with Lily. She won, let's get this right, Adran League's Young Player of the Season, which is a fantastic achievement.
Yes, well done, Lily.
Yeah, huge congratulations. There is an auction ongoing at the moment. You've got a bit more information about that.
I do have a bit more information. Weirdly, Jay has just messaged me about said auction.
Okay.
So let me go to the other message actually because it's easier because I know what I'm saying on that one. So basically some of our international fans are raising money for Wrexham Food Bank, which I think is absolutely amazing. Jay's philosophy is that he wants to give back to Wrexham and he feels that this is the best way to do it. So they're auctioning off an unopened kit top on eBay this week as a fundraiser. It ends on the 23rd of June. So what day are we on now? We're on the 17th. So that's next Sunday. Sorry, I'm just like, so if you'd like to obviously donate and help out Wrexham Food Bank, obviously we know times are hard at the moment, but anything that you can, donate or help towards this fundraiser would be amazing. So if you go to eBay, we'll put the description or the link, down in the description if you are watching on YouTube. And if you are listening to us on Apple or wherever you listen to your podcasts, we will, I'll share it on the social media. So you just go over to Twitter and all that jazz, and it will be there. So, it ends on the 23rd of June, which is this Sunday. Obviously, the podcast comes out on the 17th, which is a Monday. So, help out if you can. And amazing work being done by our international fans. So, yes, amazing.
Thanks, Siân. I was sort of scouring around this week for a little bit of news. Something that we could give people to, tell them what's going on. I saw other teams releasing kits, but there's no Wrexham kit. I saw other teams signing players, but we haven't signed any players as yet. Is this a concern? Is this now a concern? We are 53 days away from the start of the season.
That sounds so long away.
It is, but in real world terms, that's not very long, is it? So is there an element of concern? Players need to bed in. Mm-hmm. They need to buy a new house, move into a new house. They're moving into a new area. They've got new teammates. They've got new style of play, a new manager, new coaches telling them what to do and how to do it. Is 53 days enough? Bearing in mind, when the season ended, I think you have around the 100-day mark until the new season starts again. And we're now almost veering towards half of that. Mm. We've got no players in. The shirt is what it is. I would like to see a new shirt.
We'll see that by July because that's when they'll be wearing it, won't they? The last game probably on the 27th of July.
Is it concerning that we have that we
Not really.
No?
I'm not concerned, no, because You've got the likes of Sean Harvey, Humphrey Kerr, Phil Parkinson. You've got all of that team, and I'm sure they're not just sitting on their backsides. Obviously I think as soon as the last season finished, the 23-24 season finished, I think they were starting to look at, and I'm sure Parky's been looking like all season for getting an idea of who's going to be out of contract and blah, 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 blah. So I think it's probably in hand. Like we say, Wrexham AFC Club they're very good at keeping things very close to their chest. And I think maybe that's what they're doing now, because, people speculate constantly, don't they? Oh, he's coming to Wrexham. He's coming to Wrexham.
Well, that is literally a feature on this show, speculating about who's coming.
It is speculation, but I think, I'm not concerned, because I think all the team at Wrexham behind the scenes are all thinking and planning for our season in League One.
I'm not saying they're not. What
I'm asking, are you concerned?
A little bit, yeah. Okay. Because I think it takes a long time for a player to bed into a team and to get used to the players around. If you've got if we're changing our strike partnership, for example, they need to know each other inside and out. And I understand that sometimes you buy players in January and they have to hit the ground running and they have to bed in really quickly.
Well, yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
But
what's the difference?
For me, the point of the summer for me is that you get your players that you want in, and then you can work with them for the whole summer or however long that you've got. But I don't know. I just like.
Are they doing that though, and we just don't know?
What are they doing? What?
Working with people.
Well, no, obviously not, because we haven't bought anybody.
How do we know?
If you buy somebody, you know. They don't. Okay. What is he turning up at the training ground with a black hood on? And he's playing
bundled into a car.
He's playing in a balaclava. I mean, let's be honest. How many pictures of 3 players in balaclavas at the training ground do you think they'd be?
We haven't seen any of the players at the training ground.
No, I know, but I'm starting to get. Was I concerned in the weeks leading up to now? No, not really. I mean, it's going to take time. I've said this before. I think this is where our increased profile works against us a little bit. Teams want more money. Teams negotiate harder with us. Agents want more, and agents sometimes use us as a pawn to get a better deal for their player at other clubs. So, this is where our profile is a problem and can become a problem. So I haven't been concerned, but I'm starting to get concerned now. Each sort of week that goes by when nothing is happening, and it's not like we don't need players. It's not like we go, oh, it's okay. And I'm not saying that Sean Harvey and Phil Parkinson and all the others are just sitting back and not doing anything. I'm not saying that. But, at some point, we do need these players. We've got rid of Ben Tozer, Aaron Hayden, Luke Young. We've got rid of some big players here, but we haven't replaced them with anything yet. And if we're going to be leaving that late, then that, for me, is a little bit of a concern.
When we signed Will Boyle last season, he went to America, didn't he, with the boys?
He did.
So maybe, and did we know about that signing before he went to America?
Yes.
How soon before?
I don't know.
So I'm thinking maybe that's what they're planning on doing next time.
But
this time, sorry.
I think the difference this season is I think we need a lot more than we did last season.
Yeah.
I that's the thing that heightens the concern for me, is that I just feel like we need more. It's not as if we need 1 or 2, we'll be fine. I think we need more than that based on what we've got rid of. So
I think.
So I'm not fully concerned. I'm starting to worry a little.
It's mad the things you worry about. You don't worry about money or anything like that, but signings for a football club is very worrying to you.
Yeah.
Which I can totally understand, but I think
I can get on board with that.
Yeah, I definitely think there are pipes. What's the saying? Stokes in irons in the fire.
There's no pipes. Bagpipes?
I don't know.
We watched Scotland play.
Badly. Yeah, I think. Sorry, Adrian. I think. Yeah, I'm not worried yet. Maybe next week. Ask me the same question next week.
This could be a weekly feature.
Yeah.
What is the level of worry? Maybe we should draw a little chart on the wall and the anxiety level at not signing any players as we go through.
How's everyone feeling about this? Are you kind of on the same page as Ryan? You're sort of thinking, oh my God, where are all these signings? Or are you on the page with me thinking, you're not very concerned at the moment?
I'm not climbing the walls. I'm just starting. Like I say, each week that goes by, I'm starting to think, oh, hang on a minute. Where are these players coming in? That's where I'm at. I'm starting. Maybe
it's not been born yet.
There is some anxiety.
All right.
Is what I'm saying. And
chill out.
It grows by the week.
Chill out because, like I said, Parky and Sean knows what they're doing. So I'm not concerned, but like I said, ask me next week and my anxiety levels might be a bit higher.
Okay. All right then. Look, we're going to have a look at a couple of transfer rumours. I've gone for goalkeepers this week because, look, Arthur's not doing anything at the moment, is he? So
I've heard, though, that Arthur is, obviously, we've talked about it before, about Arthur. He leaves his negotiations to his agent. And I've got a feeling that his agent is obviously trying to get, not necessarily for the interests of Arthur, but obviously for his pocket.
Yeah.
So I think there might be negotiations in regards to what pricing and stuff like that, but or wages or whatever. I don't know what they talk about.
Rob obviously did. He was on Talk Sport, and Rob obviously said that we have spoken to him.
Yeah,
we're in discussions. We're trying to get him to come back.
Yeah,
he is open to the idea, which that's all very nice and good. I like the sound of that.
But until his name is on that contract,
then I'm not gonna. So I'm gonna look at a couple of goalkeepers this week that we have. I haven't just made these up. We have been linked with out there in the press, in the world of the press. And it was one that I mentioned last week. I'm going to talk about first. It's Marco Morosi.
Love
so
that name.
he was Shrewsbury's goalkeeper last season.
Mm.
He's 30 years old. As I said, he played 141 games for Shrewsbury since 2021. Very much the first choice goalkeeper. We have had this conversation before where, what are you aiming for? Are you aiming for a championship level goalkeeper, but the ones we're maybe going to attract a championship level, but as a number two and isn't really playing week in, week out? Or are you going to aim for a League One goalkeeper who is playing every week? So it's hard to balance that and work out what exactly you want.
Mm-hmm.
So he's previously with Coventry in 2019 to 2021. His contract has expired and he has turned down a new deal from Shrewsbury. By the time this podcast comes out, he's probably signed for someone else, but you just don't know. Apparently Rotherham are leading the race to sign him.
Yeah.
Obviously, Rotherham have signed, I think, 57 players so far in the summer. Nodding at me like I'm
57.
serious. It
feels like it, though.
They've signed a lot.
Yeah.
So they are currently leading the race for him, apparently, according to the media. So, look, it's an interesting one. I like him as a keeper. I think he's pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Is he Arthur, though?
No one's Arthur, are they? That's the thing. So it's difficult. If Arthur's not going to happen, then you've got to be out there, and you've got to already be, sort of. I don't know what the word is, but you've got to irons in fires,
or pipes, iron in the pipe,
whatever. You've got to have them out there, haven't you? You've got to be.
Yes.
You've got to be looking.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I think very good goalkeeper. Obviously, what do we love? Free. You've got to love a free player.
Who doesn't love a free player?
Not going to affect the old profit and loss sheet. The wages as well. He's coming from another League One club. He's not on mega money from the Championship or being released by the Premier League or whatever that might be. You know, he's at a decent level. It always crosses my mind what the players expect as well coming to a club like Wrexham, because, you know, the public perception is we've got loads of money. But is that the sort of players' perception as well? So when they are approached by us, are they thinking,
money,
yeah,
moolah.
cha-ching, here we go,
Yeah.
it's payday. So you don't really know how that sort of works.
And then they come to the club and then they're disappointed.
Yeah, you know.
Well, we do all right as a club, but we're not like Man City level.
Yeah. I mean, this whole scenario here, you know, we're talking about Morosi, it obviously all hinges on the Arthur deal. And I think the question that we now, well, maybe we don't need to ask, but it's a question I've started asking myself is, you know, as Rob said, we are negotiating with him. We're in discussions, you know, we're having talks, all that sort of stuff. The question is, how long do we do that before we throw the towel in and go, right, we need to go and find somebody who's going to sign.
The 9th of August. A day before the league starts.
Do you know what I mean, though? It's at what point? Because I think a goalkeeper's a really important position. You've got to understand your defence in front of you.
Which Arthur does now.
Yeah, you've got to understand that back line and you've got to understand what they do and you've got to have a connection with them. And a week before the start of the season, I'm not sure that you're building any sort of relationship with that back line. So it's a weird one of how long do we wait? How long do we wait before we go, look, we're going to throw in the towel and we're going to go after this guy, or we're going to go after this guy, or we're going to get in, or we're just going to go with Mark, or we're just going to go with Luke. You know, if there's so many permutations of what we can do here, I just don't know how long we wait for Arthur.
I'm sure that they've all got a time scale in mind, like, you know, if it hasn't by this point, then, you know, we need to seriously. I mean, they probably are looking. I think they know, don't they? They probably are looking for another. What was that face for?
Yeah, I was agreeing. It was
you were
pained.
grimacing.
It is a bit of a grim. It's a bit pained in the sense of, yes, they probably do have other targets.
But we want Arthur.
But I just don't think we can wait around forever. But
and his agent shouldn't expect us to either.
No, but having said that, Arthur wouldn't really want to be waiting around either, because the longer he waits, if the Wrexham thing doesn't happen, you know, how many other clubs out there are looking for a goalkeeper at the last minute? Do you know what I mean?
I haven't seen any, like, I've been looking online and stuff like that, and I haven't really seen any rumours about any other clubs. I'm sure there is, but it's not very, you know, it's not out there.
Signing Arthur?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not been...
no, it hasn't, no.
And also the other players as well. Like, obviously, the ones that have been let go, like Ben Toast has obviously signed for Forest Green Rovers now, Aaron Hayden, Carlisle. Yeah. But then you've got the likes of Callum McFadzean, Luke Young, not Jake Bigstaff. Jake, what's his name?
Who are we talking about?
Jordan Tunnicliffe.
Right.
I knew it started with a J.
I don't remember there being another J.
Jordan Tunnicliffe.
Yeah.
You know, all those.
Yeah, that's true. But I think Park had said, I think it was in the documentary, he has had contact from other managers and other clubs asking about every single one of the players.
As a person rather than
that we have released.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm sure something will come of that. But yeah, I don't know, really. Brian Leighton got in touch. He said happy birthday, by the way.
Cheers, Brian.
He said, in my opinion, Mark Howard is perfect for us right now in his role with the club. He is too old to be our number one for a full season. True. However, he is also old enough to have plenty of experiences as a professional. More importantly, he seems more than happy to impart those experiences on young keepers, which will help them improve. Also, if our number one gets hurt again, he is a player you can trust to come on and deliver a solid performance, as he has done every time for us when our number one gets hurt. Very valid point, I would say. But I do agree with Brian's point. I don't think he's a number one for a full season, which is why we're looking at goalkeepers this week. The other one's Neil Etheridge.
See, I don't talk about the transfer rumours because I don't know enough about them. I could read off the notes, but it'd be pointless because,
So we've got Neil Etheridge. Now, this is a goalkeeper I know. He's 34, so he is a little bit. He was released by Birmingham, so another free agent. He was very much their number 2 again. So, Championship club last season, number 2. So this is what we're sort of looking at. I keep going back to it, but we're looking at Championship, number 2, League One, we're looking at first choice goalkeepers. So that I think that's where we're sort of at the moment.
Yeah.
He has been the second choice for quite a few seasons. I don't really know him from Birmingham. Looking at the stats, mainly because he hasn't really played there, but he has played some games. I know him from Cardiff, I think, is where I know him from sort of most. He only played 6 league games last season. He was generally used as the keeper in the EFL Cup and the FA Cup.
We used him
that sort of thing. Yeah. He is an international. He's the captain of the Philippines.
Really?
Yes,
That's interesting.
It is. So
I would never have got that he was that he had Philippine connections with his name.
No, I know that is true. Yeah, he hasn't got a very Filipino name, has he? No, not at all. But yeah, so that's another interesting one. And I think for me, if you look at the two of them, you look at Morosi, he's played week in, week out, very much considered as a top goalkeeper in League One. Only 30, which is not old at all for a goalkeeper. It's a sort of age that a lot of people would say a goalkeeper matures and gets to his best.
Yep.
Then you've got Etheridge, 34. He's starting to get towards that older age. Very experienced, but hasn't really been playing in the last few years.
Do you want a keeper though that hasn't really been playing?
That's what I keep asking. That's what I'm saying. Do you? Is that what you want? Do you want someone who can play at that level if they're called on, but isn't really getting a game, or do you want someone who could play at a slightly lower level but is smashing it week in, week out?
Yeah.
That it's a weird one to call. I think out of the two, I'd probably go for Morosi if it was up to me. A little bit younger, playing, which it's not, as we well know. Playing week in, week out. I do like him as a keeper. I think he stood out in a poor team last season for me. But if you're playing in a poor team and you're a half decent keeper, you are going to stand out a little bit because you're going to be facing a lot of shots and you're going to have to make a lot of saves. So
I think with the goalkeeper is as good as your back three.
Yeah, but if you've got a poor team in front of you, you're going to face a lot of shots. You're going to have to come and claim a lot of corners. You're going to have to deal with a lot more situations as someone like who's playing for a really good team who don't really concede many goals. So it's one of them really.
So we've got a question from David Morse.
Yes, suggestion box. Obviously, we always say every single week, send us in some questions. We will do our best to answer them for you. And this week, David has kindly...
David's made it to the suggestion box.
He has.
Right. Are you concerned about leadership for the coming season? As big of a deal as their form on the road was, there were several results that could have been losses were it not for those character players, the leaders in the team.
I'm not personally concerned because I know we've lost some big characters and some leaders in the summer. It is a very good, valid question, I've got to be honest, because, we had ultimately 2 captains and we've lost them both. Well, we haven't lost them. It's not like we've misplaced them. We let them go. We haven't, they haven't, somebody hasn't come in and bought them. Let's get that fact right first and foremost. We've assessed it and we've decided, as harsh as it is, we don't want them anymore. So so it's not like we've lost out on them because they've gone somewhere else.
We've made the decision.
We've made that decision. Yeah. So yes, 2 big leaders on and off the pitch, but I think we've got lots of what you would refer to as character players. We have a lot of that in our team, and not just that, we have a team that actually likes being around each other and
Yeah.
enjoy each other's company and get on really
Yeah.
well. We don't have any huge egos. Ish. We do have egos in that team, but you sort of get the impression they very much get kept in check by the other people and leaders within that team. I think it's the reason I'm not hugely concerned. We had a conversation a few weeks ago about potential captains, and there was a lot of names on that list. It wasn't like we were sort of scratching our heads going, I don't know who it could be. We had McLean, we had Mullin, I chucked Owen O'Connell in there. You know, there was George Evans, who maybe isn't the most vocal. You know, Elliot Lee's another one, as we've seen from the documentary.
He's very vocal.
He will get his point across. So I think we've got enough leaders in that dressing room still, even with Ben and Luke leaving. I think we've got enough about us, and we've got enough leaders there and enough characters there. Because let's be honest, character is something we're going to need next season, because it's not going to be a walk in the park. There's not going to be a lot of easy games next season.
I'm scared for next season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried, but yeah, we'll see.
So hopefully, David, that answers your question.
If it doesn't, blame Ryan.
Yes, all my fault. If you want to get in touch and you want to ask us a question, you can get in touch on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, or email us at methewife and wrexhamafc@gmail.com.
So, welcome to Wrexham.
Yes, welcome to Wrexham.
Was it ended, it finished, end off.
Was there a standout moment in the episode for you, or was it just...
There was a standout moment, actually, when Luke at the end...
Oh, yeah.
When he was... You could tell when he was talking to Rob on the pitch after the game, after the Forest Green game.
Yeah.
You could tell that he was gutted. I think he already knew that was his last game.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just looked at his face and was just like, oh my God, poor Luke. And Ben as well, you know.
Yeah. They obviously knew. They'd filmed it in such a way that they obviously knew that they were going. There was a couple of standout moments for me, but we'll come on to them in a minute. Episode 8, so it's a finale of season 3, so that's done and dusted. We're going to have to come up with a new feature next week to talk about. I like the continuation of the whole Rocky theme, because the Rocky theme's been in bits sort of throughout the sort of season, and I think in previous seasons as well. Obviously, there's quite a strong Philadelphia connection with the whole Rocky story. I'm not even going to ask whether you've seen the film, because I've got this horrible suspicion that you've never seen it.
I think I've seen Rocky.
The first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Many years ago.
Yeah.
I can't remember. All I know is that he runs up some steps in one of them.
Well, there you go. That's a nice little segue, because we had the Rocky steps. We had Michael running up there. We had Lily and Millie.
Lily and Millie.
Hey, I tell you what, that's a podcast waiting to happen, isn't it?
I just want to interrupt. Talking of Millie, we hope you get better soon, Millie. Millie's been in hospital. I'm not sure whether she's still there, but get well soon, and sending lots of love.
Yes.
Sorry.
Definitely. No, that's fine. It was, so the whole episode sort of focused on the close of the season, didn't it? So we had the women in the cup final where they lost 2-0 to Cardiff.
Yeah.
What do you think? Where do you think Cardiff and Swansea are so strong in that league? And Cardiff won the league and they won the cup. Swansea finished second. Wrexham finished third. We got to the final, third in the league. I would say that's an excellent season for the women. Where does it go from there, though? Because Cardiff and Swansea are just going to continue to get stronger, and I'm sure we will as well. But what is the aim? Because
to win, obviously. Yeah,
I know it is, but it comes back to the whole: do you consolidate for a season? Are they going to be happy with third again, do you think, based on the quality of them too? No?
I think they're going to, like Lily said, when they play like Cardiff and Swansea, I sounded dead well.
Swansea?
Cardiff and Swansea, when they play them, Lily said that they kind of don't play as well, because they're not sure whether it's a respect thing, because they know that they've obviously been in this league for a long time, and they are very, very good players in Cardiff and League women's team.
Yeah.
But I don't see why the women can't
push on.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. I wasn't saying they couldn't.
It
looked very aggressive at me then. I was just,
No, I think there's no reason why they can't push on. And like Gemma said as well in the documentary, they've kind of set a precedent for themselves now.
Yeah.
So they have to keep pushing. They can't rest on their laurels.
No, I think what they've done is they've set a minimum for themselves, haven't they? Which is your minimum is third. That's it.
If you stay there, if you're there next season,
you've hit your minimum.
Yeah.
But then you need to be pushing on to
exactly. So, and I don't see why there's no reason why not. There's some great players in our women's team, and I'm sure whenever the transfers
start coming in,
I'm sure that they will be, they'll bring on some more amazing players. So
talking about amazing players in the women's team, we obviously had Rosie's 100 goal. So she did that in 46 games.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. And they sort of talked about that on the back. She was the 7th Wrexham player to hit 100 goals. They talked about that off the back of, obviously, Paul hitting 100. He was the 8th Wrexham player to have ever done that. The episode mainly focused on the men's running for the end of the season, and it started with the Colchester game. Paul scored his 100th. Max scored his first to win the game and win it 2-1. The weird thing was there wasn't really anything about the Crawley game, was there, in the documentary, which I found a little bit odd, in the sense of, for me, that was one of the most important wins of the season. It was the thing that really set up, it set up that Forest Green game, and I was surprised that they didn't sort of dwell on it a little bit more. I understand why they sort of dwelled on the Colchester game, because of the whole poetry of Max's first goal, Paul's 100th goal, winning the game right at the end, and I get why we focus so much on that, but I just don't think the Crawley game had enough representation in that episode. I can't even
remember them talking about the Crawley game, if I'm honest.
No, I don't think. I'm not sure they did. I'm not sure they did at all. I might be wrong.
No.
Let's move on to the Forest Green game, which obviously was in there as well. What's the matter?
I'm fuming, everyone. I'm fuming. As you all know, Ryan and I come as a pair. We're married, and we do this podcast together. But Sandy, I'm coming for you. Anyway.
I don't think Sandy made the final
decision.
I don't think
no. But Ryan and Rob did, obviously. They're executive producers. They obviously saw something.
They know what they like.
They saw something in you. Anyway, so as you may or may not know, our little Ryan over here made it into episode 8. So we got a lot of messages.
3 times, I think. I was in 3 times. So I was celebrating one of the goals. I had a little fan cam. Shan moans about this, right? That I'm on it. She's not. She won't hold the fan cam. She's going, oh no, I can't be bothered with that.
Because I'll hold it in a certain way. And like the Blair Witch Project, where it's like right up her nose and you can see like stuff coming out. That's what it would look, not obviously that stuff coming out, that's what it would look like.
Well, you can't moan. If you can't be bothered holding it, you can't moan when you're not on, can you? So I was on celebrating a goal. I was on, obviously when we won the game, we were on the pitch. There was footage of me on the pitch at the end of the game. And then there was footage of me after the game as well, where I was saying about that we the next thing that we're going to have to now go and do is go back to back to back.
Back to back to back.
And, and so I just feel like I had the fan cam so many times last season.
We did, yeah.
So I felt like I put in some hard yards of filming and I got my rewards for that.
So a few of the comments that we had.
You're just moving on.
No, I'm talking. No, the few of the comments
Okay.
we had about Ryan's appearance was from Nicola Elaine. I seeing things, or was Ryan on tonight's Welcome to Wrexham? And I obviously put yes. I'm fuming. Let's have a look. What else we've got.
Kowata said she got in touch as well. She said that she saw my pretty face on the documentary.
Not sure you were watching the same documentary. And we had Merculago.
Stephen.
Is that his name?
It is indeed.
I should know that, shouldn't I?
Yes.
Blah, 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 blah. Seeing you on the last episode was mint. Not going to say where in case you haven't seen it yet. Of course, Wrexham. Welcome to Wrexham, I mean. And I put, yes, we watched it earlier. Only Ryan, though. I'm fuming. So basically, it kind of goes along those lines of like, I am fuming because I wasn't in it. But it was lovely to see my husband being on the documentary. Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. I think the things like the Forest Green game, it's very much memories for life. You're not going to forget things like that. But as you get older, you maybe can't remember it quite as clearly. I don't need to worry about that anymore because I am now immortalised in a documentary that I can look back on and go, I remember now. Siân, not so much.
Stephen also said, well, all our videos of me, the wife, are immortalised.
Yes.
Stephen also said that he hopes that we get interviewed for Welcome to Wrexham next season.
Fingers crossed. Very open to it.
So now that Ryan's appeared and his face is there.
Maybe it's a gateway into the new season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe. We'll see.
We're going to have a quick look at two opponents for next season. We're going to have a look at Northampton Town and Wigan Athletic. We'll do Northampton first.
Yep.
So they were founded in 1897. They're 123 miles away, which is about 2.5 hours. They play at six. What?
We could do that.
Yeah, we could do.
Yeah.
They play at Sixfield Stadium, capacity of about 7,798, but that means only 972 away fans.
Maybe not.
Last game against each other was in February 2006, which we lost 1-0 at the racecourse. The last away game was a 0-0 draw in August 2005. Both games were in League Two that season. They've been in League One or League Two every season since 1992.
So they're yo-yoing back and two.
No, I wouldn't say they're a yo-yo club, but they have been in both divisions. In the last 9 seasons, they've been promoted 3 times and relegated twice. I suppose that is a little bit yo-yo, yeah. The nickname is the Cobblers. Obviously,
there's lots of cobblers.
It's the shoe industry in Northampton, so yes. They're managed by John Brady since 2021. He's an ex-Chester player. Last season, they finished 14th on 60 points. They were promoted from League Two after finishing 3rd in the 22-23 season. Top scorer was Sam Hoskins, who scored 15. They've released 5 players this summer. 5 loan players have also returned to their parent club, including Mark Leonard, who has obviously gone back to Brighton, who we have been linked with. Sorry, I just nudged your microphone then. I did it again. Sorry about that. They've brought in 7 new players already this summer.
Wow.
It's nice. It's all right for some, innit?
Hope you're enjoying it.
Yeah, hope you're enjoying that. The other team to have a quick look at, it's not a quick look at this one, but Wigan Athletic, they are just down the road. They're 47 miles away, about an hour, give or take.
Yeah.
They were founded in 1932. Then their nickname is the Latics.
I always think it's the Lactics.
Not the Lactics. It's just a bit of a shortening of the suffix. So Wigan Athletic. I think at some point they were called the Athletics, the Letics, and just with the northern twang, the Letics, the Latics, and the Latics just stuck. It's the same nickname as Oldham Athletic. Exactly the same nickname. They're both called the Latics.
That shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah, they play at the Brick Community Stadium, which has got a capacity of 25,138 at 5,000 away fans.
Impressive, that.
It is impressive. Look, we've got someone on the show who knows a lot more about Wigan than we do. So we wanted to invite him on. We had a chat with him about a year ago. So we're coming on to the show is Barry Worthington. He is the presenter, producer, and editor of the Wigan Athletic Progress with Unity podcast and blog. So welcome to the show. How are you doing, Barry?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Yeah, looking forward to this season already. I'm buzzing about it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I know that we're excited as well. It's one of them things of the off season, so with so much lack of football. At least we've got the Euros. Well, I suppose you've got the Euros to look forward to. Not so much the Welsh, but we had a chat about a year ago, Barry, just before the League Cup game when we played each other. And I was asking you what sort of season you were hoping for. You just come down from the Championship. I was asking if you were hoping to go straight back up again. And there was a little bit of an uncertainty around the club at that time. And I think you sort of said, I just hope we stay up, really. You know, you finished the season in 12th. I mean, couldn't be happier, I suppose, with that.
Absolutely, yeah. Everything we asked for. We had mid-table, no pressure. I knew we weren't going to go up. I also knew we weren't going to get relegated. So you go into games just to enjoy the football. There's no pressure. We had a brilliant end to the season. We won our last 3 games, did really well. We had a good run in the FA Cup. Got to the 3rd round, drew, the team everybody wants to draw. So Manchester United filled the stadium, made quite a bit of cash out of it. Had a good run in it started off as the Pizza Trophy, then it wasn't the Pizza Trophy, then it was the Bristol Street Motors. We got to the latter stages of that. I was just a bit disappointed we didn't get like a trip to Wembley as well, but we didn't. But it didn't take any gloss off the season. I thought it was brilliant. The best thing about this season that's just finished for me was watching the development of all our academy graduates and just seeing them come into the team. Wiganers as well, Wigan lads who supported the club from being, knee-high to a grasshopper. They come in, state their claim in the first team, and now there's like £10 million price tags on 2 of them. So that's how well they've done this season, and that's been exceptional to watch that unfold.
What's it like going to a game and, like you just said, and you just go to enjoy it? There's no pressure or anything like that. I don't think we've actually ever been to a game where there's no pressure.
I can't remember what it's like to go when there's no pressure, to be honest, but it must be quite nice as a fan to go and just enjoy the football.
Yes, well, we've always been a club that's yo-yo between different divisions. When we first got into the league back in '78, we was up near the top of the old 4th division. We got into the 3rd division, and then we struggled a bit, and then we was pushing for promotion. Then we got relegated. Then we were back up, and it was the same when we made it all the way to the Premier League. Every season, there was all that end of season pressure on you, and then we've flirted between the Championship and League One ever since. And it's an incredible feeling knowing you go into a game. You don't know the results before you go. You're playing some lesser teams who block the midfield and you can't get through them, and you're playing some bigger sides who play open football and give you a chance to get at them. But you never know how it's going to turn out, and that's good. But you're meeting your friends there and your family. You're going with your family. You're having a chat, and there's absolutely no pressure going to some fabulous away days. I mean, Lincoln City, we went to Lincoln. I love going to Lincoln. My son lives over there, and they've got a fabulous fan zone. I mean, there's one for you coming up as well, Shrewsbury Town. That they have a great fan zone. It's just up the road, isn't it? And there's a bit of rivalry between you, so that'll be a great away day for you. But the fabulous, and when there's no pressure, you lap the victories up, and the defeats, well, they don't really matter.
I think, hopefully, our next season might be a bit like that, but I kind of guess I don't think it will be because of so much. Yeah, I don't think it will be. What do you think your next season's going to be like, or what do you hope for it to be like? Should I say?
I have a feeling we've got a really, really good manager, and he loves playing the young players. I think we're going to be pushing for the playoffs this season. Last season, we had a brand new side, and you can point to certain games where we missed 3 penalties, which would have given us wins in 3 games, and that would have pushed us further up. We had -8 to start the league off, and we had a couple of really bad decisions from referees that cost us games. And when you add those little things together, you're looking at us last season pushing for the playoffs. Now, this is, we've developed over that year. So I think most definitely we will be pushing in the top half, even though we've only got a mid-table budget. That's been stated because we're not spending the cash anymore. But we've already brought two lads in, 2 loan signings, and they're exceptional players. I mean, we've got a lad from Liverpool called Calvin Ramsey, and they brought him from Aberdeen for £4.2 million. Now, he's suffered a bad injury. He came back last season, played a little bit up the road from us at that club, just up the hill. But he only had 5 games. And we decided, and watching, the clips for him playing for Liverpool, playing for Aberdeen, he looks outstanding. 20 years of age, absolutely brilliant player. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this season. The only thing that we're lacking at the moment, I'd say, is a proven goal scorer. So I think we're looking at bringing in. I mean, the club have said they're in talks with the number 9, so I assume that's what it is, because we've lost Josh McGuinness, we lost Stephen Humphries, who's been linked with yourselves. Charlie White's gone, so they were all 3 of our top scorers. We've still got Telo Asgard, but he's a number 10. He was the second highest goal scorer. He's under contract with us for quite a while. So we definitely need somebody to lead the line. But we've got a young lad coming through the ranks anyway, Josh Stones, who I think is going to make a big impact this season. So he's one for you to look out for.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been linked with about yeah, sorry. I think we've been linked with about 18 Wigan players, to be honest. Obviously, Josh McGuinness, you mentioned there, Stephen Humphries, Tom Pearce. There was the talk about Jason Kerr as well, who is now obviously re-signed with you guys. I think he's been given the captain's armband as well, to sort of moving forward with Josh leaving. The Jason Kerr one, for me, when I looked at that, because my understanding is we offered him something and he decided to stay with you. Do you think sort of offering Jason Kerr that contract shows a bit of trust from the owners in Sean Maloney and sort of the belief that he's the man? There you go. Look, anyone you want to retain will help you do that. And do you think that's a real statement of intent from the owners there?
Yeah, I do. But the other side to this coin is Gregor Rioch, and he's I suppose you'd call him. What would you call him? I don't know what his title is really. He's what's the guy who sits in the stands and runs the football side of things, but he's not the CEO.
Sporting director.
Right, that's the one. It's just gone out of my head. But that's not the title they've given him. They've given him a different title. And he's been with the club since 2013. He was the head of the academy, and they've just promoted him. And his ability to spot and then bring in players is second to none. And he works very well with Sean Maloney. They work really well together. And they are definitely a team. And I think that's where the trust of the ownership is, in those 2 people. Because the model that we're now working under is the one that persuaded these owners to actually buy the club. So they went and presented this, said, if you come in and save our club from extinction, this is how we'll run it. This is the budgets we'll work to. So there's been a bit of a leeway. We've made a bit of money out of the Man United side. We've got rid of all our big earners. They've gone. I know Jason Kerr's on a reduced contract from last year anyway, but Jason Kerr had been out for a year. He had an ACL, really bad ACL, came back and did his metatarsal, and he said he wanted to show a bit of repay a bit of trust to the club, and I think that was a nice thing. So obviously, giving him the captain's armband gives him the opportunity to keep his salary up a little bit more because he's got more responsibility. But he's a fabulous player, Kerr. He's a Rolls-Royce centre half. He just lacks a bit of pace. That's the only thing. That's his only downside. He's a definite championship player, so I understand why he was in for him. But yeah, it does show a bit of trust, but we're still really a club that's working to a very tight budget.
Talking of the tight budget, you've obviously had a lot of loan players last season. What are your hopes for coming, in the transfer window this summer?
Well, yeah, I'd like us to bring a couple of permanents in. League One's excellent for using the loan market. The only problem is you have to give them back, don't you? And we had a lad from Liverpool, Luke Chambers. He's going to play in the Premier League. Absolutely brilliant. Really exciting guy from Fulham, Marshall Godo. He just electrified the games when he were playing and he was on form. At the end of the season, off they go. So that's the problem with the loan market. And we've got these two lads in now, one from Brentford, Michael Olakibe is his name. He had 5 games with Peterborough last season. We went to Peterborough in February. They were storming away near the top of the table. We went 3-0 up, and he made his debut in that game. And the only player that threatened us all through that game was this guy on his debut. So I'd spotted him. He played number 15 for them. And when I heard we'd signed him, I was so excited. So he's a really good player. Yeah, so we will use the loan market 100%. But you still want to bring players in that you can make money on and sell. So last year we brought in Matt Smith from Arsenal, signed him on a free transfer, got him on a 3-year deal, and it was about getting him in the team, getting him to play a certain number of games, and he's in the shop window, and then you can sell him, and then you add to your budget, and that's the way to do it. And unfortunately, Matt Smith got injured about October. He had a double hernia and he was out till February. So, yeah. But the good side of that, it's kept him out the spotlight.
Yeah, definitely.
We've got that with a Conquo at the moment.
We have.
Yeah.
I always warn Siân, don't fall in love with loan players because you have to give them back at the end. And, it can be really difficult. Barry, one last thing. If I was to pin you down for a league position next season, where do you think you're going to finish?
It all depends if we can get that centre forward in. We need goals. You need goals to win games. If we manage to get somebody who can score goals, we've got goals throughout the team. We've got players who can get 5, 6, 7, 8 goals a season. But we need somebody who's like in the high teens, 20s. So if we can get him, I think we'd finish, but it depends who the team's coming down, who they keep as well. Because if they get rid of all the squads and reshape the squad, it's going to be difficult. But if they keep the squads, it's a massive step. They'll walk the league. They'll not walk it, but they'll do very well. I'll stick my neck out and I'll say we'll finish 4th this season. I think we'll finish 4th. And as for yourselves, I think with your momentum, but it is a big step, League 2 to League 1 is a big step. I think you might do a Stevenage, do well, push in the playoffs, and then just fade at the end. Unless you sign in January and sign wisely, then you could end up in the playoffs with us. What a final that'd be. We're going to be Wrexham.
Oh,
we'll have to get you on again.
Yeah,
for another chat.
We are really looking forward to coming to Wigan next season. So, Barry, good luck for the next season. Not too much luck, obviously, but we wish you all the best for the new season.
And said to yourselves, looking forward to you coming to town. I'm sure you'll bring a bit of excitement away from the football as well. So, looking forward to that. Thank you very much for having me on.
It was our pleasure, Barry. Thank you very much. Quick shout out for Dragon Chat before we move on. So Dragon Chat is a mental health peer support group. They run 2 weekly Zoom calls. One is on a Monday at 8 p.m. and that is for women. And the other is on Thursday at 7 p.m. and that is for men. The best thing to do is follow Dragon Chat-Steve Lloyd on Twitter for some more information. All of the details of how to get onto both of them Zoom calls is down in the description if you are watching us on YouTube. If you are listening to the podcast, then just go over to YouTube and it's on there, and then you can subscribe and it boosts our numbers and it'll all be great. Happy days. Look, quiz. Siân's doing the quiz this week. Everyone keeps asking for it. So you've got it. All right.
I haven't written these questions, though.
She hasn't.
These were written by Roy, who emailed us earlier last week. Late last week. Anyway, he emailed us.
Last week.
So these are some very interesting questions. So thank you very much, Roy.
Yeah.
We're going to smash this.
I am gonna reserve saying thank you, Roy, until I've heard the question. So we'll wait and see.
Okay. Question number 1.
How many is there?
5.
5. Okay, I'll do 5.
He's following the same kind of pattern as you.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
Right. Question 1.
Okay.
How did Ryan introduce Siân on the very first episode of the podcast?
Okay.
Is it A, I'm Ryan and this is my wife Siân? B, I'm Ryan and this is my lovely wife Siân? C, I'm Ryan and I'm lucky enough to be joined by my beautiful wife Siân. Definitely not C.
Definitely not that one.
D, Ryan.
Not that you're not beautiful, by the way, just to clarify, but yes.
D, Ryan did not actually introduce Siân, but just launched straight away into talking about the first match he saw in the 1980s.
Right, I'm going to be honest, right? The most likely is the last one that I've just not even acknowledged Siân was here and have just ploughed on. I am pretty sure that the answer is A. And the reason I think I know the answer to that is I did a lot of research around sort of old episodes when we were doing 100th episode. I'm pretty sure it's the first one.
Yeah, Roy's put, while D would be funnier, the correct answer is A. Straight and to the point.
Yes.
Okay, question 2. Well done.
Thank you.
Which of the first 100 episodes has the most views on YouTube?
Can I answer this without any options?
Go on then.
Because I think if I get it wrong, I'll take the options.
Okay.
I think the highest numbers on an episode is I'm not sure the number, but it's called Welcome to Wrexham.
Wrong.
Okay, I'll have the options then.
Okay. Episode 5, Welcome to Wrexham.
Yeah.
B, Episode 6, Always Sunny in Wrexham. C, Episode 37, Are You in Love with Ben Foster?
Yeah.
I love that one. D, Episode 41, We Are the Champions. E, Episode 93, Town's Going Up, Ole Ole.
Okay, all right then. I think I'd go for A, but you already said it's no, so I'm gonna go for B.
You're correct.
Thank you.
Always Sunny in Wrexham with 3.7 thousand views.
Decent.
Yep.
Okay. I knew it was TV series themed, so I wasn't sure if it was a Welcome to Wrexham or so I should have shut up and just let you do the options.
This is what Roy's put. Second is episode 5, Welcome to Wrexham with 2.5 million. I wish that was true.
I wish that was
1,000
true.
views, followed by episode 41's We Are the Champions in third with 2,100.
Yeah.
Fourth is episode 37, Are You in Love with Ben Foster with 1.8. And finally episode 93, Town's Going Up, Ole Ole comes in fifth.
There's time for that one to grow.
The lesson here is name your episodes for TV shows and get more viewers.
What I just said.
Yeah. Okay. Question 3.
Yeah.
How many of the first 100 episodes of the podcast have a title that starts Me, the Wife? Number multiple choice, but it's a number between 1 and 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
No multiple choice between 1 and 6. I didn't read that question
Okay.
right.
It is. I'll do my workings out loud, so there's no dead air. There is Me, the Wife, and Mark Griffiths.
Sorry.
Yeah, I thought you were going to.
No. I was just
Okay.
coughing.
Me, the Wife, and Mark Griffiths. There is Me, the Wife, Two Beards, and Wrexham AFC. Maybe I can't remember, but it's definitely Me, the Wife, and Two Beards. There's one of them. There's Me, the Wife, and Ryan Reynolds when we met him.
Yeah.
Well, briefly.
Yeah. Touch his bum.
I will go with 3.
You would be correct.
Thank you
So
very
it's
much.
episode 51, Me, the Wife, Two Beards, and Wrexham AFC. Episode 62, Me, the Wife, and Ryan Reynolds. Or episode 85, Me, the Wife, and Mark Griffiths.
Hey, I'm good, am I? Am I good?
I think he's looked at these questions, Roy, if I'm honest.
Roy, I 100% haven't. I like a good quiz, mate.
So question 4.
Okay.
We know that Siân handles the social media duties for the podcast. Thank you, Roy.
Yeah.
But do you remember Threads?
Not really.
The pod's presence on Threads was first mentioned in episode 52 on July the 10th, 2023.
Yeah.
I love your knowledge, Roy. What was the last episode in which it was mentioned?
53.
Is it A, 52, B, 64, C, 74, D, 82, or E, 90?
I mean, I'll be honest. I know it's not A because I know we mentioned it for more than just once. What was the next one? 60 something.
52, 64, 74, 82, 90.
I'll be honest with this one. I haven't got a clue, so I'll go for the 64.
Okay, well, you're wrong.
Oh.
It's 82.
82?
The answer-
We talked about it on Threads for that long.
The answer is episode 82 on January the 29th, 2024, even though the pod's last thread was score predictions for the away match at Tranmere in September 2nd, 2023.
I had no idea you were even still posting on there.
I'm not.
No, but I mean, I had no idea. I thought you'd done it a couple of times and just went, that'll do. That's why I was really surprised that
Thread's annoying.
it was like 10 episodes up until the guess I gave, which wasn't even the right answer.
And Roy's put, I think it's fair to say that Threads was a bigger flop than MK Dons in League 2 playoffs.
yeah, that's true.
Final question.
Okay.
Question 5. We know that Ryan is a very honest fellow. How do we know this? Because he's tell us so a lot. In fact, he uses the phrase, to be honest, at least 296 times, and honestly shows up about 97 times in the first 100 episodes of the pod. But in which of these other ways did Ryan most often let us know that he was being honest? So you've got A, I'll be honest. B, if I'm completely honest, or to be completely honest.
Yeah.
C, if I'm being perfectly honest, or to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Or D, let's be honest.
Oh my God, they're all, I know I use that a lot. What was the first one?
I'll be honest.
What was the second one?
If I'm being completely honest, and then in brackets, or to be completely honest.
It's between them two. What was the third one?
If I'm being perfectly honest, or to be perfectly honest.
Oh, Roy.
I love these questions, Roy.
I know, this is hard. I think I'll go the completely honest one. I think I'll go with.
So B.
Yeah.
The answer is the multiple forms of if I'm being perfectly honest.
Is that what
61
am I right?
times. No.
Oh.
C, that one was.
Oh.
Followed by let's be honest with 51 and to be completely honest with 50. Other approaches such as if I'm being honest or in all honesty were much smaller numbers. We need him as our researcher because he's so good.
I've got to be honest though. I do look, if I'm being honest, I say that so often.
Or in the sense of you say a lot.
Yeah.
Roy's just put at the end of it, it all kind of makes me wonder whether to trust Ryan when he doesn't explicitly tell us he's being honest.
Roy, if I'm being honest, that was amazing.
That was. Thank you so much
love
for that, Roy.
And I quite like the fact that I got 3 right, so I feel like I've done well. But I got 2 wrong, so Siân feels like she got something out of it as well.
I would have done terribly on that. If you were asking me those questions,
I think
would have...
I've got... The way my brain works is...
to be honest.
It's... I kind of try not to say it now. The way my brain works is I remember weird stuff. I think I said to someone not that long ago, I know a little bit about everything, but I don't really know a lot about anything. So, but like with things like this, that was sort of my wheelhouse. I'm quite surprised I didn't get 5 because I sort of got a really good idea what our best performing podcasts were. And, you know, a lot of them questions really sort of suited me.
We have had a suggestion a while ago of somebody said that, I think it was Fan Tam.
Yeah.
I think. I might be wrong, but she said... or they said, whoever it was, I can't remember, basically that we should do a Ryan word of the week.
Yeah.
So basically, like, you know, going through the week, the day of the podcast.
It's going to be honest though, isn't it?
Or in the sense of.
Which I'm not even sure is a proper sentence.
In the sense of.
In the sense of.
You always say that.
I know, but it doesn't sound right.
I had a phone call yesterday, and the guy who I was talking to said "in the sense of," and I was like, "Oh my God!"
Look, thank you so much for tuning in again this week. Thank you to Barry for joining us and you know, to having a chat about Wigan Athletic.
We will definitely be having Barry on again, I think, when we.
I think so. I think
when we know when the fixtures are out.
If you know, if the fixtures come out and we're playing Wigan first game of the season, I think Barry will be back on sooner than he thought he would be. But yeah, you know, we'll love having Barry on again. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in again this week, and we'll see you again next week.
Have a good week. Bye.